Hello, welcome back to Versus Live, here brought to you by StarCityGames.com. On a day that we have some special guests, if you're just joining us, unfortunately Todd Anderson is under the weather with a nasty cold, and Brad Nelson is still recovering from the emotional devastation of the beatdowns that I laid on him last weekend. So instead we've got Ryan Overturf, came in town early for the Invitational and got here just in time so he could be here for this, which was great.
Woke up just in time. Got here yesterday. Woke up just in time for this.
Having some sweet hangs.
Yes, and we've got Emma Handy over here in the booth fielding your questions.
That's me.
We are playing the Izzet Phoenix Gauntlet after my victory last weekend. We're going to put the deck through its paces. I was able to narrowly defeat Bant Spirits in the first match. And now I think we have what, in my opinion, is the toughest of the three decks selected for Izzet Phoenix. This is Grixis Shadow. This is Max Medeiros' list from last weekend. He finished in third or fourth place. And the combination of discard spells, good removal for the creatures out of Izzet Phoenix, Fatal Push and Dismember both match up quite well. And usually there's some sideboard graveyard hate. I'm not sure if Max had ley lines or surgicals.
It was ley lines.
It was ley lines,
which
okay.
I don't think are that inviting.
Ley lines are not very good, but surgical would be excellent.
Yep.
And you can certainly go that direction in your list if that's a deck you're looking to play. But just the combination of disruption and the fast clock brought on by Death Shadow. Like, your threats match up pretty well against my removal. I have 2 lightning axes, but it's pretty easy to strip them out of my hand before you play your threats. And then Teamer Battle Rage. It's a card that can win the game out of nowhere. I'm usually dealing you a good chunk of damage on like turn 3 with Arclight Phoenix or maybe transforming a thing. You can play a pretty big Death Shadow, and from there, there's some real chance of me just dying on the following turn. So
yes.
It's a very complicated matchup. I had some very close games against Max in the semifinals. Was fortunate to come out on top then, and hopefully can do the same now.
Yeah, I'm going to try to stop him from coming out on top.
That's how this works.
We'll see how,
That's the versus part.
Right.
And we're
the
live.
cameras are the live part.
Yeah.
The game is the versus part.
Are there astronauts on your shirt?
There are.
Your friend Daniel loves that shirt. Chat wanted me to tell you.
Oh, the friend Daniel.
Yeah, you only have one.
Friend Daniel.
Excellent. Friends are the people who lie to you to make you feel better, Daniel. Nice.
Frost, I like you a lot.
Not really sure what just happened there, but well,
don't be a cross.
We'll get it.
This is versus live.
Yeah.
Cameras game.
Yeah, cameras game. Okay,
Yeah.
now we're good.
Listen, I don't get to fight anyone in Magic. I just have to make both of you hate me before this is over.
Okay, you want odds again?
Yeah, I like odds.
I like odds.
Nailed
Well,
it.
now it's evens. I'll be on the play. And hope my hand is great. Got any questions over there, Emma? Maybe some Grixis fans?
Yeah, what's the room's take on Black Red Hollow one? Is it just outpaced by the Phoenix decks?
I think that is one of my best matchups in the entire format. And it is...
You mean when they accidentally put your Phoenixes into your graveyard? That's good for you?
That hasn't even ever happened.
Thing in the Ice is just good against their deck.
Yeah, Thing in the Ice is absurd against them.
Hollow One is like a really strong deck. It's in that kind of field of reasonable decks for a given weekend in Modern. There's not a lot you can do with the build from week to week. It's just pretty strong. I'm not going to disparage anyone from playing it. It's not my pick. Jerry T's big on the Arclight Phoenix version, and I'm not going to argue with Jerry about anything.
Okay.
Why, are you a coward?
Yes.
Yes, we've established
We've been over this.
I'm just going to beat this joke into the ground.
Yes.
Show you what warriors do.
Okay, well, I'm on the play here, and my hand is not great for this matchup, but it's reasonable enough, and against a deck with a high density of discard spells, you're going to be a little bit wider in your range of keeps, so I'm going to keep this one.
This hand's pretty medium, but I did not come here to mulligan.
Okay. Does that sound like a coward's move, Emma?
Yeah, he's afraid
of mulliganing. That resolves.
Just making sure everybody knows where we are. That was a good draw.
Ooh. Is Emma going to beat that joke into the ground like Ross beat Brad into the ground in Baltimore?
That is nice. I approve of that comment. I'm going to top both and pass the turn.
It's a reasonable draw. I will start the game at 17 life.
Ooh. Is it going to be 15?
I wish.
Not that lucky.
Yeah,
This sounds like a Serum Visions.
gonna take some doing.
Although, I guess it could be anything. Max's numbers were a little all over the place.
I don't know if it could be anything.
3 Serum Visions, 3 Thought Scour, 3 Bauble.
I believe.
Well, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
bobble off of this if that's what you're getting at. Yeah,
It is a Serum Visions.
I may be misguided. I believe he got a lot of help from one Brandon Dolloway, who's been playing and championing the deck online for a long time and posts like his sideboard guide publicly each week, and really got a ton of reps in.
Cool.
So I actually have something kind of interesting I can set up on my next turn with this card, which is pretty tricky, and I currently don't have any other use for this. So I think I want to hang on to this for a second. So I'm going to pass turn.
Okay. So I left. Oh yeah, that's how I stacked it. I guess I had to do that against a discard spell, but it is a little awkward. I kind of don't want the additional threat now that it didn't get Inquisitioned out, but that's fine. I'll play Thing in the Ice, pass turn.
All right. So yeah, I knew I was drawing this, so now I'm going to bobble myself. And I don't want to draw that, so I can shuffle it away.
The old scry trick. We go into 14.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not a scry. You just look at the top card and then you shuffle your deck.
Now, the important thing is whether or not I'm going to remember my bobble trigger, which all bets are off.
Well, we don't have a judge in the room, so I'm prepared to remind you.
I'm prepared to get Ricky in here for some outside assistance penalties.
What are you going to do? Kick me out?
Alright, so now we'll do...
I don't know. I'm not the
some
judge.
more
I don't know what the
serum
penalties are.
visioning. So I get to draw one of these on Ross's turn.
You could also draw this one.
That's true. I don't really think that I am in the market for redundancy in the way that I am being offered it.
Quick question from chat. Do y'all think pedantry is an important skill in Modern?
Think what is?
Pedantry?
I think it's an important skill in life.
I'll echo that.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need to tell everybody that you're smarter than they are.
Wow, that's a lot of eye contact, Ross. I don't know if I appreciate that.
Is that both
pass.
both
You
bottoms?
won like
It is
one
both
tournament
bottom.
last
I'll
weekend.
pass.
Upkeep bobble trigger.
Yeah.
I'll draw from my
Ryan,
turn.
did you draw your card for Bobble? Just here for you.
Appreciate you.
Okay, I'll play a Scalding Tarn and another Thing in the Ice.
That happens.
Pass the turn.
I will Thought Scour targeting myself.
Sure.
It's a good target.
I thought so. Ooh, lands. Didn't want those. Ooh, another land. Didn't want that one either.
This sounds like one of those play nothing instead of one of those play legacy draws.
We'll start with Thoughtseize. Be going to 12 off of that.
I'm going to
I
crack a
see.
fetch to 19.
Opt-in response?
And get an...
Powerful stuff.
I only need an opt.
Oh, my swamp is in my graveyard? That's a bummer.
It's possible I'm supposed to get a Steam Vents here, given that my life total is pretty high, but I found that my life total is actually pretty relevant in this matchup with the threat of Battle Rage. And I already have a dual land, so right now I have access to 2 of each color. So I think the island is fine. But both things now on 3, and we'll see what this opt reveals.
Oh, but I'm hoping your hand is just all crackling drakes when I look at it.
What a dream. That card, like, Ross would only have 4 cards in his graveyard and it would be lethal. Why would you hope that?
Yeah, perhaps an ill-advised desire.
This is one of the more interesting cards I could have revealed. I think it's a keep just to have a density of spells, so I'm going to draw it and then mix my hand up so Ryan doesn't know which one I just drew.
That is important.
And show you a bunch of burn spells and a Kraken Drake. 1 for 4.
So I clearly can't take Crackling Drake. It's both the worst card in the hand, and this is 3 spells for Thing in the Ice. So I'm going to be playing a Death Shadow here, so the obvious choice is Lightning Axe. And I'm at 12 currently. Play this land. Okay, so with Lightning Bolt, Gut Shot, I just want to go to 9 straight away here. Oof. Demonstrate that I am not a coward.
What? Most people don't demonstrate that they're not cowards. Most people just live like warriors.
That ain't me.
We know because you're a
4/4
coward.
Shadow.
Yes, this Death Shadow and pass.
Okay, so any spell wins this game?
I believe that to be the case. I
Any
dug
spell.
pretty hard for that fatal push, but it was not forthcoming.
This is a nice pay 11 tempo, kind of struggling here.
Faithless Looting. Does that count?
Oh, I just lose either way. I mean,
Yes.
you have Lightning Bolt.
Bolt you, pay 2 life to Gut Shot
Right,
you.
that's a free spell.
Yeah,
This is in my hand. I take 14.
Yep.
Yep.
I beat either Stubborn Denial or Removal Spell.
Yeah. Yep. So I had this in my opener, and I just needed to find Dismember or Fatal Push. Shoved everything that was not that to the bottom of my deck, and did not get there. Yeah, one of the interesting squire decision was a third Death Shadow, but the only thing that matters is whether your things transform.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely think the life total here is super relevant for you because you really want to get to a point where your Death Shadows are 4 toughness, so they don't die to Lightning Bolt. But the lower that you put yourself, the more you become vulnerable to the explosive turns out of the Phoenix deck. So there it was more of a matter of you just not having the answer to thing, and there wasn't a ton you could do. You were definitely going to put yourself to 18 over the course of the game. But hopefully we'll get in the later games some more interesting decisions about where to place your life total to be safest while still appropriately pressuring me and protecting your Death Shadows.
Yep.
Before we go to break, do we got any questions over there? Comments, concerns?
Yeah, so this one's actually pretty pressing. Ross, do you have the ability to name a horror that is not Bedlam Reveler, Spellskite, Thing in the Ice, or Awoken Horror? All right, next question.
Krovikan Horror?
Oh my god, it has horror in the name?
That makes it a little easier.
What a cop-out.
I just don't know how you didn't snap off Chameleon Colossus.
Yeah, like you can't just be like...
There's an easy mode
cop-outs.
answer to that question.
You can't just say Mutavault?
Yeah, that's my favorite horror.
What?
Well,
That's
I came
neat.
up with one that says horror twice.
Elder Deep Fiend is one that comes to mind.
Isn't that one just an Eldrazi?
It's
Is it Eldrazi Horror?
Yeah.
I believe it is an Eldrazi Octopus.
Is it an octopus? Well, I guess I lose.
Is it
It
an
might be
Eldrazi
it-
Croctopus?
I
It
thought
might
was
be an
a horror.
Eldrazi Octopus horror
I thought that Eldritch
spellcaster.
Moon was like pretty ripe with horrors.
I'm sure chat's on it, correcting us.
Yeah, we'll figure it out
Okay.
here in about 11 seconds.
Yeah.
We're going to take a 3-minute break here. We'll get sideboard set for this match, so be sure to come back and join us then.
All right, we're back for the post-sideboard games of Grixis Shadow versus Izzet Drakes. On the Shadow end, I am down a game, and I'm looking for some upgrades. This deck has 3 main deck Lightning Bolts. They don't kill Thing in the Ice. They're okay sometimes against Arclight Phoenix, so I'm going for cards that are good against Thing in the Ice, both Fatal Push to eliminate it, or Snapcaster Mage as a creature that I'm pretty happy if your Awoken Horror bounces it, and it can find my Fatal Pushes.
On my side, only one change, we'll say. I'm bringing in the Spell Pierce, reasonable to just stop a key discard spell on a threat or protect my Thing in the Ice or Crackling Drake. And Gutshot is the lowest impact card in the deck. Your fast draws in this matchup are going to be disrupted by the Stubborn Denials and discard spells out of Grixis Shadow, so you don't want to be left with the Gutshot that was going to enable that fast draw when your Manamorphose gets taken or your Faithless Looting gets countered. And so I'll just trim a Gutshot and bring in a Spell Pierce. I've often thought about bringing in the Ral in this matchup to give me a way to kill bigger creatures, but it's just so rare that you really get to 5 lands and resolve it through Stubborn Denial and discard spells.
Pretty tall order there, I think.
Yeah, I had the Engineered Explosives with the Black Splash that could also come in this matchup and kill Death Shadow, but that is no longer there. With Shadow doing pretty well last weekend, that might be the deck that I move towards more when tuning my sideboard for the Invitational.
Yeah, I could definitely see reaching for an explosive, so it would help you a decent amount. The sideboard for this configuration has some Leyline of the Voids, and there are graveyard hate effects. I am interested in the matchup. That is not one of them.
Yeah.
I would reach for a Surgical Extraction. I would even reach for Nile Spellbomb.
Yeah, Nile Spellbomb is just so mopey.
It
Like,
replaces itself.
does
How
it?
bad could it be?
Very.
Are you gonna consistently leave the 1 mana open you need so you can tag Phoenix and replace itself?
Yeah.
Because if you do that,
I mean, so like I will generally know your hand.
yeah,
So I kind of know what's going on there. You have opportunities where just exiling Faithless Looting is reasonable. I'm not trying to bring in a bunch of spell bombs. I have a
Yeah.
Lightning Bolt in my main deck that I don't want to be there. I'd rather have a spell bomb. I definitely buy the argument for not having it in your deck.
Yeah.
I would reach for it here if it was there.
good points.
Chat just thinks it's worth bringing up that Reach Through Mist replaces itself for 1 less mana. Just kind of makes you think.
Dang.
It does make me think. Makes me think poorly of chat.
Hey, I got paid to write an article dragging Spellbomb for like 500 words last week, so
That's true.
that card is on a scale of great to not great. You can guess my not great opinion of it.
I didn't even get the opportunity to guess. I feel a little cheated. All right, I get to play first.
That's true. Seems like you've been doing that a lot.
That's true. This hand is pretty acceptable. Does things.
Yeah, my hand is also very acceptable.
I'll get this cool set up. I'm going to start by bobbling myself.
Yep.
Card's pretty whatever. Don't care if I draw it.
Going to 17.
Yep. I'll be taking much damages.
So many damages.
And I don't see a compelling reason to do anything that's not Thoughtseize you here.
Okay, well, I've got a pretty good hand. We've got some cantrips, got a threat, got some removal spells.
All right. Cantrips are fairly interchangeable. Don't really care about a Serum Visions or an Opt. Lightning Bolt and Lightning Axe are pretty whatever, especially given the composition of my hand. They also get worse when I know about them. Pretty easy thing in the ice, I think, here.
Okay, you go to 15.
Yep. And pass turn and draw for bubble.
Yep.
So we have a chat divided right now on Leyline of the Void from Death's Shadow.
I believe you. The ones that want Leyline are wrong.
Go on.
So in this matchup, his deck is doing exactly one thing with the graveyard. It's just Arclight Phoenixes. And this deck, I'm really only particularly concerned about the thing in the ices. I want to keep that under wraps. If I can handle these things, I think I can race Phoenixes very effectively, unless my draw is non-functional. A way to make my draw non-functional is to just have Leyline of the Voids making me mulligan to 6. Ross can just cast Arclight Phoenixes. That can just kill me.
Snarethopter is a magic card that is legal.
All right, I get to do more bobble tricks, so I'll bobble me. Remains one that I don't really want.
Fetch, you won't.
Whether to take damage off of the fetch is actually starting to become an interesting thing. I think I just want to find a land tapped here, because I'm still very capable of damaging myself. So I'm going to fetch this Bloodstained Mire down to 14.
Okay. We just playing another cantrip here?
You'll find out.
Just give it a second. Just give it a second.
But I want to know now.
It's my opponent, and I want it now.
Blood Crypt. There's an argument for doing things slightly differently this turn, but I'm kind of fine with where this is going. I'm gonna
Only
Thoughtseize
kind of
you.
fine. Thoughtseize me.
I mean, this deck is like really stressful and everything. Your micro decisions wildly swing games, so being kind of fine is like a pretty good spot with a deck like this.
Yeah. The upside of this Thoughtseize is I no longer have to hold cards in my hand.
I go to 12 here.
Really just adding minutes to your life.
Yeah.
Seconds.
Pretty sure I'm not overly concerned about a Crackling Drake. So that makes it between Lightning Axe and Manamorphose. So I'm pretty sure Lightning Axe just has to be my pick there.
Okay.
And I'll pass and draw my bobble.
Sure. Good?
Yeah.
So I have an interesting decision now. I know the top card of my deck. Not sure how good it is. This game right now feels like it's going to go on for a while. Ryan started with a couple Thoughtseizes. Probably has a removal spell for this Crackling Drake. But I guess there is a chance that it's like puts himself to 9 next turn and plays a bunch of Death Shadows, or plays like Shadow plus Angler, and tries to go from there and end the game really quickly. If that is the case, what does that mean? Does that mean I want this card? I think so. I think that's probably my best bet then. So I'm going to play a Manamorphose. I'm going to make blue-red.
Lightning Bolt me.
I'm going to opt with a red floating.
Mm.
I'm going to tilt.
Do what you want.
Let's bottom that.
At the bottom of Phoenix there.
That is
That's
also
the
kind of a
best card
tilt.
in the deck.
Pass the turn. So close.
Now we want to cycle this to 10.
Yep.
Ross, Keranos versus Ral.
Ral kills large creatures. Keranos doesn't. Ral draws cards immediately and consistently. Keranos doesn't. They both die to Celestial Purge.
That is the rules
Definitely
text of that card, yeah.
Exiling 6 here for Gurmag Angler.
Sure.
Pass turn.
So, leaving up some removal spells, some other things. I would like to draw 2 cards and discard 2 others.
That resolves. The card's not modern playable.
Hey, but it's modern legal, and that's good enough.
That's
for
what matters.
For
That's what counts.
Ross Miriam.
He didn't break any rules.
Discard Delta and Arclight Phoenix.
We were asking about
Not
the
bad.
worst tech ever earlier.
Did you find it?
Play a Scalding Tarn and pass the turn.
Have you ever wanted to be guaranteed to overpay for an ability?
That's an interesting draw.
Yeah, certainly would have preferred that to be Faithless Looting or Chart a Course. But fortunately, Gurmag does not pressure as much as Shadow does. So I'm going to have a couple turns.
We'll start here.
I'll go to 15.
I have a really interesting decision here that leaves me dead to some things if I go for it. I know you have Lightning Bolt. So my options are this, blah, blah, this. Or I can do this, or I can do nothing.
That would be the coward's way.
Doing nothing would be the coward's route.
Sound pretty on brand.
Yeah, may as well.
This is my brand. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
You haven't shown a Faithless Looting yet. You started with Izzet Charm. There was a Phoenix there. If you already had the Phoenix and you had a Looting, you probably just start on that. You also missed a land drop. There's a lot going on in these blue mirrors. Okay, so
What about Chandra, Torch of Defiance over Ral?
That was one of the cards that I considered, along with Keranos and Jace, the Mind Sculptor. Chandra doesn't kill 5 toughness creatures and does not play well with the counter spells you bring in post-board against control decks.
Believe that this is my safest line.
So fetch brings you to 9.
Yep.
Multiple of 3 is an important thing to get to.
Well, it's about to be a multiple of nothing.
Are you snapping this Thoughtseize?
I am snapping the Thoughtseize. Now my life total is a prime number. Do you have anything against that?
Gotcha, it does. Yeah, I don't think I want to bolt in response at all. I guess if I bolted in response, you would take my Faithless Looting, and I would have to flash between flashback Faithless Looting, hopefully find a cantrip and into Gutshot to kill you. That seems unlikely. So yeah, let's just let this resolve.
So why not Jace over Ral?
Jace is harder to protect in bolt matchups. It's like pretty poor against Jund, for example, and Jeskai. Just much easier for them to answer.
Bolt versus looting is interesting. I'm pretty sure I have to take Bolt. If I take Bolt, the way the deck's configured, Ross could try to shove with the looting, but I think it's correct for him to just play the Drake. And I think that knowing I'm playing against Ross, I think he's going to do that. Whereas a different opponent might be more of a wild card. So I'm going to take Lightning Bolt here.
Wild card, baby.
Okay, so take the Bolt. You are now at 7.
I'll play this Polluted Delta.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Did I just not make a land drop on one turn? I feel like
I might have made that up. It's unclear.
No. Yeah. No, we're good. That's a strange draw. So
Ryan.
Yeah.
What are you doing with that Thoughtseize? In the graveyard.
You're right.
You gotta tighten up. Micro decisions matter.
you have 2 in hand?
I do.
I have to assume that one of them is a removal spell for Crackling Drake. I'm guessing it is not Dismember, given that that would be very precarious. So I'm assuming that if I play a Drake, it's just going to get Fatal Pushed. That's going to put Ryan to 6. A Battle Rage will not kill me because I'm at 14. That'll only deal me 12. And you can't push End Step, Rip, and then Battle Rage plus your Bolt, the one bolt left in the deck to kill me, because you only have... Oh no, you have 2 Blood Grips, so I guess you could do that. But that's very unlikely. Regardless, I do think it's just very correct to play the Drake here.
Yep.
And draw a card, especially given the card that we drew. I'll pass the turn.
Sick read, Ryan.
Ooh, is it a
Not
Dismember?
really reason to fetch and stuff.
Yeah.
Chat brings up a good point
lead on
about Ral.
Thought-scarring myself.
Chat brings up what?
Chat brings up a good point about Ral.
Yeah.
It was probably extra humiliating for Brad to lose to it.
Why is that?
Because it's Ral. Look, I'm just reading the chat. What do you want from me, man?
It's a powerful magic card.
How big is this thing?
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 4.
Shove.
Russ is at 14.
No blocks. 7.
Good.
Okay. I would like to start this turn on a Serum Visions.
Resolves.
Let's put 1 on top and 1 on the bottom. And cast a Faithless Looting.
Yep.
Let's discard Arclight, Phoenix, and Scalding Tarn. Play an island and flashback Faithless Looting.
True.
Discard Faithless Looting and Thought Scour.
Mm-hmm.
Go to my beginning of combat step and trigger the Arclights. This is now
Yes.
much bigger than 6.
I believe that to be the case.
Attack you.
Yep, I'm dead. So 2 turns ago or whatever, I had a really interesting decision where I could have played fetch land, cracked 2 fetches, go to 8, cast second Gurmag Angler, and then my Battle Rage is lethal next turn. But from 8, knowing you have Lightning Bolt Phoenix in your graveyard, there's a lot of things that leave me dead on my turn.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had a winning line there based on what I saw on the following turns. I think that line also just loses.
Yeah, I did. I drew second Drake for turn, which would have been awkward. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I would have hit the second Phoenix that I really need to kill you. I probably would have needed flashback looting. Not sure I would have been able to bolt to. So you had thought seized me. This was before you took before the second thought seize when you took
This was the
bolt?
turn when I did the Snapcaster Mage. My other option was to
Okay.
play Gurmag Angler.
And you knew what, but you didn't. So you didn't know the mountain looting in my hand. You knew Bolt Drake.
Correct.
So you knew Bolt Drake, 2 unknowns.
Yeah.
You would have put yourself to 8, and I was at 14. Yeah, and you'd have 15 here. The thing is, yeah, you put yourself to 8, and if I just play Drake and block, you don't have me dead. So I have like 2 turns to set
That
that up.
turn is fine with me because I just Battle Rage, clear your Drake or whatever, or even just trade, and that's probably fine depending on what I draw.
Yeah.
But I think that the odds that you just kill me are pretty high.
Yeah, I need to find either second Bolt or second Phoenix.
With the amount of mana you're working with and 2 unknowns, the deck being so flush with cantrips, at least in my experience.
Yeah. No, that's a tough spot, and it's unclear to me what the right way to go is. I was certain that you had a discard spell. You were so flippant about the Crackling Drake in my opening hand. I cast it on turn 4 and you died.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like I had time to figure that out, and I had some pretty blank draw steps.
Yeah. 10. We got it's a 10-4. Good buddy. Oh, did I count the looting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 10. Would have made it an 11 with this gut shot.
Dang.
See, I thought you had the removal spell. I was going to get you with the gut shot. You deprived me of that joy.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for, really.
Deprivation
Secret
of
to
joy.
Ross is that winning alone will not make him happy. You have
Yeah.
to...
Okay, so we are in a situation where we usually start to chat as to whether or not they want to see a third game in a match that has already been decided 2-0. We do have a bit of time, although the Jessica match does run long. So be wary of that. That if you want a third game here, you're not going to get a third game there unless we split the first 2. So we'll give it, 30 seconds or so. Emma, you're looking at chat over there. We can field some questions in the meantime while we get a feel for what they want.
Make sure and tag your questions at SCG Tour.
Any good ones?
All right, so we have third game, go for third, next match, third, Jeskai, third game, Jeskai, next match, Jeskai.
It's a lot of Jess guys.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we also have to take the 10-minute break before that match, so it's probably best to just move on to Jeskai.
Sure.
Okay. So we're going to do that. We're going to take our break now, 10 minutes long, be back, and we will be battling with Brad Nelson's Jeskai list from the quarterfinals, where he was felled by this guy.
Was it only in the quarterfinals, or?
It was also in round 11?
Dang.
Yeah, round 11.
No wonder he couldn't come into work today. I couldn't look at you
twice.
either.
Twice.